Oh yeah. And Sling Blade, take one, and action. That boy lives inside his heart. That's a mighty big place to live.
That's right. We watched Sling Blade this week on The Movie Gap, the podcast that has you scream.
How have you not seen that? 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 Little darling, how have you not seen this? How have you not seen it?
Welcome to this week's episode of of The Movie Gap. I am your host, Chase Austin. As always, the young boy that I keep in my back shed in a little hole in the ground, Bryce Perkins.
What's up? You didn't say what direction I'm in today.
Oh, yeah, you're on my left.
There you go.
I also should mention that you're my son. I'm not just keeping a boy down there.
Yeah, you should definitely mention that part.
Yeah, that's what makes it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, hello. Hello, everybody.
And we're also joined this week by a very special guest, Mr. Arron. And I forgot your last name.
Michaels.
Sorry.
Welcome to the show.
Bryce, you want to do a better introduction than that?
Yes. Okay. Should have just done this to start with.
I thought that's what you said you were going to do.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we are joined today by a very special guest, Mr. Arron Michaels. Hello, Erin. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, friends. I am doing pretty good. I saw this movie, and it was it was a movie.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, Erin, before we get into it, we'll introduce you to the crowd or to the audience here, even though you are already a fan favorite, as that goes. But just so people know a little bit about you, we met at Station Theater. Is that correct?
Yes.
Over
yes,
doing some improv there, and then you're also very active in the stand-up scene around Houston, right?
Yes, sir. I am not only funny, I'm also queer.
Yeah.
So, funny queer, whatever that movie line of movie was.
Well, Erin, that is a very offensive way to put that. Okay, so
did somebody tell you that? Did somebody
tell you that? You learned that, didn't you? Yeah.
I was watching you.
Yeah. So John Ritter. Okay. So. So yeah, we a little known fact for the people out there watching. We had a very short-lived and another casualty of the pandemic. Sadly enough, we had an improv troupe that I hope gets picked back up, but we'll see about that, right?
Fumes.
Fumes.
Fun story. We were doing a improv battle. It was me, Bryce, our friend Cole, Maggie.
Cole, who was on the show as well.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will remember him, Cole Triplet?
And we had a battle against Bryce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bryce beat us.
I still feel, I wish I would have... it was literally the only time Fumes got to perform live, and I didn't get to do it because I was with good buddy Toscano. Shout outs to you, David, if you're watching. But yeah, he had asked me to do it with him, and then Fumes decided to also join, and I'd already agreed to do it with him, and so it was a battle of the ages, and the most talked about feud of the time. It got real ugly on social media, but I'm glad we were able to persevere as friends through it all, Erin.
Yeah, no, I hate you. You're a traitor, and you should die.
Okay, fair enough.
That's why we brought him on. We got to get some of that podcast beef going.
Yeah, we're gonna squash the beef before the end of the episode. Does that sound?
Or we're gonna
like
pot that beef and eat it.
Oh,
Potted meat.
Potted beef.
Bring it back to the movie.
Yeah,
All right.
that's right.
Good movie. The biscuits and mustard. Did y'all catch that?
Oh yeah.
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 Biscuits and mustard.
That was real gross, and he liked it. That was his thing. It was he was. It reminded him of the good parts of his childhood.
It was the largest jar of mustard I've ever seen in my life.
And he made the most noise at the very end getting it.
Well, no one was going to hear him.
Nope.
So
he cut him right through the medulla oblongata.
That's right. Different movie, but close enough. Could be in the same universe.
That was in the song. The song that the guy sings is
that's
about
right. I
splitting
thought you
the
were
guy's
talking about
medulla oblongata.
I thought you were talking about.
You don't have to. You don't even see the ... It's just where the singer decides.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Waterboy, which now I'm thinking this
is in the same
universe as Waterboy. Yeah. And Forrest Gump, but we'll get into that. Because they both play football and they're both really good at it.
This is just in the football universe.
Right. Okay, so that being said, Erin, is there anything you want to? You got plugs, I'm sure. You want to get out there for the people to follow you and all that good stuff, right? So go ahead, give them your plugs. Tell them where they can find you.
I'm probably most active on Instagram at this time. So Michaels, Arron. Arron is Arron. I am currently not doing anything because of the pandemic. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but shouldn't be going out to bars without being vaccinated. That's my stance. And but as soon as I finish, I'll be posting on there about shows and everything. So
hell yeah,
I'll be there. Sure.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Okay, and then also real quick, you can follow us at at the Movie Gap on all social media platforms. Also, you can go to
crossthestreams.com.
Crossthestreamsmedia.com?
Yeah, crossthestreamsmedia.com.
Okay.
You can find all of our socials there. You can find all of our episodes there. We're also obviously on all the other platforms that you get your podcasts on, and on YouTube if you haven't been checking us out. Our episodes are on YouTube. They usually come out a week or so after the other episode, the podcast episode. So check up on that. And we got a Patreon up there. It's all on Cross the Streams Media. Merch to come soon, if not already. So, it's
by the
exciting
time this
things.
comes out. Yep.
Yeah. And while you're at crossthestreamsmedia.com, check out our sister podcasts. There's quite a few of them. 3 Beers and a Mic. Secondary Heroes.
Burn Appetit.
Burn Appetit is a brand new one that's launching on the network.
Yep. And the Dan Aykroyd.
Our friend Scott, both of his podcasts are on there, as well as Clint, who was on a few weeks ago.
That's right.
With the Four Dorksmen. So check all those out. They are worth your time.
And then quickly, we would be remiss not to mention our sponsor, New Look Home Improvement. They provided us with the soundboard and microphones for the show, so thank you to them. If you're in the Houston area and need any home remodeling or improvement, go look for New Look Home Improvement, 281-620-8077. Ask for Joey. He will get you set up and going. So big thanks to them as well, as usual. In fact,
he was just checking in on us earlier.
That's right. Yeah, we just got to speak with him. He was ready. He's ready for he's ready to remake your homes to the home of your dreams. So go check that out.
Now that all that business is out of the way, let's get into the the nit and grit of this film. Bryce, you had never seen Sling Blade.
That's correct.
Erin, I am understood that you had never seen it either.
I had not.
All right. Now this one has been on the list for a while. It's a personal favorite of mine as far as just, movies go. I really appreciate a lot about this film, and that doesn't mean that everybody does, so that's why we do these things. Bryce, it's been on the list since the beginning, I believe.
Yeah,
it was
I believe so.
One of the first 300.
Yeah, right. That we threw on there. Yeah, that's right.
So we decided to do it. Why had you not seen it before?
I think, I don't know. I think I was maybe just too young when it came out. I was only like 8 or something. And I remember my mom and stepdad watching this and both loving it. And then I remember, the aforementioned, Joe, he would be doing the Sling Blade impression. and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
like they watched it. I guess it was just at the time the subject matter they felt was too old for me, and then I forgot about it.
Yep.
So that's about it.
So what did you know going in to this thing?
All I knew was that Billy Bob Thornton played the main character, and that he talked.
And you liked the way he talked.
Yeah, and I liked the way he talked. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Erin. So you had never seen this before. Had you heard of it at all, or did you have any connection to it?
I've heard of it. For some reason, I've always thought it was a Western. So I was pretty surprised. I didn't know Billy Bob. Billy was in this movie. I knew it was like his project.
Yeah.
But not. That's pretty much all I knew from it. So, and I don't know why. I was just young, and then again, I also forgot that it was a movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this was one, because it doesn't get a lot of play on TV, and I don't think it ever has. I mean, it's, kind of an art house sort of picture. And not art house, but it's a smaller independent style film.
Yeah.
And it was very independent. But, so it was never on TV, and I always wanted to see it. And, back in the day, you had to go to movie stores or, rental places to get it, and they didn't ever have it because it was smaller. So I finally saw it when I got to college, and I got my own Netflix account, and that was back when you had to rent the discs and they got sent to you, So this was one of the first ones on my queue. I remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then in my freshman year, my first semester of my freshman year, I actually met Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, yeah. Please let us know. Tell us about this.
So a friend of mine was related to him in some way or another, and this guy was kind of a douchebag and a liar, so I didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, he's in town. Let's go meet him. I was like, all right, how far is this going to go? It was like...
And why Billy Bob Thornton of all people?
It was very much like the Seinfeld where George tells... Susan's parents that he's got a place in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got two horses, Prickly Pete,
Yeah.
And like they know he's lying. So I'm just sitting there like the same way where I was like, all right, we're going to go to Austin. All right, how far down the road to Austin are we going to get? We got all the way into Austin. We parked at the Driscoll, and I was like, this guy is committing to this. We get in the elevator on the Driscoll, and I was like, when is he going to like fake us a phone call and be like, oh, he decided not. We get all the way up to a door. We're knocking on a door in the Driscoll. And I'm like, who the fuck's door are we knocking on? Yeah. When is this going to be a lie? And it was this woman that answered the door. And it
was Angelina Jolie.
No, it was not. This was way after. Way after that. This was in 2005. So I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Gotcha.
And
were they before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
oh, wow.
So anyway, this woman knocks on the door, and I'm like, "Oh, we just interrupted some random person." And he goes, "Oh, I'm what's his name?" And then he's like, "I'm here to see Billy," and then he came out.
Wow!
We hung out.
And you got to actually hang out with him, huh?
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. We talked a lot about, I was a theater major at the time, and we talked about acting, and he had some interesting things to say about live theater. And his main thing was that he hates like celebrity stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, he was just like, I mean, it was mostly just talking. Like he was just a normal dude. He did not, you could tell he's from a town like is in this film. That's what he grew up with, and that's what he's familiar with. So,
isn't he from Texas?
No, he's from Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Much like Bill Clinton. How about that?
And my dad actually was born in Arkansas too.
Your cat?
My dad.
Oh, okay.
Not my cat. I don't have a cat.
This is what we do now?
Yeah, this is what we do now. I rescued it.
Yeah.
Rescued it in Arkansas.
Yeah, right. Well, that was a good name drop, Chase. Very good. So moving on.
It's a lot better than like, oh yeah, I met that person when I saw them perform at Bumbershoot.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It is a more legit meeting than you meeting Danny Boyle, I will say that.
Yeah. Well, I just ran into him at a bar, and he was like, go see my movie. And I'm like, okay, I'm drunk.
Oh, that's so good. Just like, meeting a famous person, and they take the opportunity to plug their shit, All right. But anyway, well, that is actually really cool. I'm glad. It's so relieving to hear that he's just kind of a down-to-earth dude, but he seems like he would be.
Yeah.
With his own eccentricities.
I think he's got
eccentricities.
I think he's got some pretty, he's a little OCD.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he was nice.
All I know is that he does not lug his drums into the studio at 6 in the morning.
That's what I've heard.
To play live on the radio. I do know that for sure.
Well, and like, why would you?
Right. Well, that's
Let's
fair.
be honest.
That's fair.
So specific. I don't think anyone would do that.
Yeah. Okay. So fair. So we are all on his side on that. Okay. Good. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Shall we just kick this baby off then?
Yeah, let's
Erin,
go into it. So,
you want to do
Erin,
us the honors?
I noticed that you are far more prepared than my co-host ever is with his notes.
Whoa.
He has paper notes, and they like rustled in the wind. You have your first note on there is Billy Bob Thornton.
No, it's Billy Bob directed
My
it.
first note is bad haircut. That's my first.
Yeah, that is
Ugly haircut.
Oh, that's awesome.
Opening mouth breather, transphobic dick. Sitting next to Billy Bob. That was my first note.
Wow.
There you go.
I thought he was a doctor. So we start the movie in a hospital.
Yeah.
And I thought he was like a doctor just being really dickish. Apparently that's, I guess, a patient. The guy.
Yeah, the other guy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that creepy guy he's in there. I don't know if we're supposed to think that he's in there because he actually did those things, or if he's just one of those guys who is in there because he's mentally unstable and he just made up all these things about.
Well, but it is a correctional facility for
criminally insane
people. So he probably.
But yeah, that guy sucked.
Well, and
that guy's the worst.
I love that actor though.
They used him as like a bait and switch though.
Yeah, they did because you knew that the girl was coming in to interview a murderer who was getting out.
Yeah. So that was like, that was well done, screenwriting, even though you kind of saw. I mean, the only reason I saw it coming is because I knew the movie was about Carl, but well done or whatever. But yeah, very good at him being that kind of person that you just like immediately despise. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It was terrible. The way he just dragged the chair. I was like,
boy.
This is not a person I like. This I like this movie.
Yeah, when he started dragging that chair, I was like, "Oh, you're one of those guys." Okay, I see. This is how it's going to be.
Can I say this? Is this okay to say? I'm so sorry. First off, I'm so appreciated to be here. Thank you so much. I fucking hated this movie.
That is it. All right.
Wow, we're getting the.
Hey, I welcome all opinions. I think this is great.
Hell
this
yeah! This is what this show is for, right here. We need these hot takes.
I was on 3BAM talking about WandaVision, and I got jumped by everyone because I hated WandaVision. So I like to see the other side of it. I want to know what was it that you hated? Like, let's get into it. Going. I'm excited.
Well, fundamentally, it was a good shot. It was a good movie. I can't tell you that it's not bad, like acting. I can't tell you that it's not good cinematography or good directing. But I can tell you that these characters are the fucking worst.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're fucking stupid. All of them are stupid. Like, there's a difference between being a good Samaritan and being a bad mom. And if you're 12-year-olds hanging like this is my friend, this 45-year-old, no, you don't need to know more. You don't need to know his past or anything. Like a 12-year-old should not be hanging out with a 45-year-old.
No, probably not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And like you also have to think about the fact that she's in this like abusive relationship with this guy who is the fucking worst. Like he is evil.
Right.
That Dwight Yoakam's character. What was his name?
Doyle.
Which is perfect because you gotta hate anybody
named
Doyle. But
McPoyle.
But that's kind of part of it where it's so Carl has these he's got what's called intellectual disability now, but back then it was what was referred to as mental retardation, but like all of these characters in this podunk little town are pretty dumb. Like in fact, dude. I love the guy who works at the gas station or the
lawnmower fix it.
The lawnmower place. Like, and then all he's like, well, you got to put gas in it. And the guy's like, oh no, right? Like, well, this is broken. He goes, I mean, did you check that? He goes, no. It's like, that guy's an idiot. Everyone is dumb, and even the people who mean well, like the kid's mother and Vaughn, John Ritter's character, like even the people who mean well are off. you know, like they don't quite get it. Even the doctor's a little bit, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
It was good. I mean, you know, it's insane that we live in a society where they just throw people out. Like they're just like, yeah, you're better.
yeah.
You know,
That was wild.
And like, at least the doctor came and checked on him. You know, and
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know, got him a job, got him something, as opposed to just like, here's bus fare.
Yeah,
and now
right.
you're the world's problem.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's a weird setting, and I feel like, you know, this movie could have taken place in I think it was probably like the 1980s. I don't really know when it took place, but
Oh, 1980s.
I think it might have been the 80s. It might
was
have
made
been
in the
70s.
well, it was released
made
in '96.
Yeah, it was made
I
in
assumed
96.
it was present day.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been the 90s. I mean, that's the thing. That little town like that,
Right,
it could have been 50 years ago. It could have been tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
You know, like I feel like there's still not a lot of cell phone
Actually,
service.
the thing is that this movie was released in '96, but it actually takes place in the future. It takes place 100 years in the future.
Oh, this is a post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, this is
is
no,
a
no. That's just
post-corona. Yeah.
no. That's how
It just is
this town
in
is.
this town, yeah.
It never
This town-
evolves with the rest
I'll
of
put
the
it this
world.
Way. That town never had an issue with masks. They've never worn them. If it is going on right now,
right, exactly.
but yeah, so like it's a really interesting sort of mirror, I would say, of like this man who is, you know, intellectually disabled, and all these other people who are also just really dumb and fucking ass backwards in their thinking.
Right.
You know? And you know, even the people where you're like, you know, bless their hearts, they're like, you know, they're awful. They're just awful.
Awful.
Yeah, and about the
Not great.
mom too. It was like that guy. Like Doyle was obviously, you know, could not back up anything that he fucking
No.
said. I mean, he got his ass kicked by Frank, and she just for some reason refused to kick him out of their life.
She was terrified of him. I mean, she knew that he would beat her. Like, that's what, you know, the kid even said. You know, he's like, I wish we could just run away. That kid, by the way, Lucas Black, I know that he's been in other things since then, but he was phenomenal in this movie.
He was really good.
But yeah, but he was like, you know, we could just run away, but she said he'll find us. And it's like,
No, I mean,
yeah.
I get all that, but why not just like, I don't know.
Well, you know, it's you know,
call
you've
the
never-
cops.
Well,
Yeah,
but who
I don't
are the
wanna-
cops?
I don't want to like victim blame.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
That's not what I was talking
No,
about.
no.
I was straight
Okay,
up
that's
talking about the
fair.
fact that
It's-
she is having that her son is friends with this
With
40
a 45-year-old man. Yeah.
who was
Yeah.
like, I killed my mom, and she's like, great, I have a friend I want to set you up with.
Right,
Yeah, that was
right,
pretty
right.
weird. And I also
Right.
love, that's another one of those, like, you don't get it. I know you're trying to be sweet, but like, just because they're both, you know, slow or whatever, like, you shouldn't like just try to fix them up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not, you know, that's like the same thinking that like children have when they see like a spider and they're like, oh, that's the mommy spider, that's the daddy spider, and those are the baby spiders. The daddy spider goes to work. You know, it's just very, not everything is the same. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I just, I don't want to victim blame either. That's not really the stance I meant to take. I realize that that's kind of what that is doing.
That's what it was coming off, but I knew what you meant.
But
Yeah,
it was definitely there's a lot of problematic stuff about it. But I mean, I kind of liked that's why I kind of liked the movie, because it portrayed a lot of this stuff in a very realistic way, in a way that like we were talking about it before, Chase, where there's not a lot of close-ups. Like when that whole blow-up thing happened, it's just one shot.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're just watching it happen.
Yeah, Aaron was talking about the cinematography and everything in this film is very simple. You know, where every scene is shot very much like you're just seeing it. There's not a lot of close-ups. There's not a lot of shot for shot, you know, or shot reverse shot. It's like wide angled shots where we just see the whole thing play out. You know, and specifically, the mother is never in a close-up. She's always, I think she might always be in the frame with someone else.
Right, I noticed that
kind
too.
of like against the wall, and it kind of, you know, shows her like trapped and overlooked. Like everybody in this town knows everybody, and they all know that Doyle is abusive and that Doyle sucks.
Right.
And, you know, should be in prison.
Right.
Basically, and nobody's doing anything to help her either. You know, Vaughn is the closest thing that she can get to somebody that can help her, you know. And even he's, you know, afraid because like Doyle is scary. Even if he can't back it up, you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, right.
And Vaughn is a very interesting place as being like a queer man in a small town. Like, who's actually like afraid for his life and stuff. So, I mean, there are elements of this movie that are very interesting, like the fact that it brought out the issue with the queerness, and then the abusive relationship, and then like the issues that we have with our, you know, state mental institutions that just kind of release these people without any kind of help. And I do appreciate all those things about this movie that it's bringing light, especially for the 1990s.
Yeah.
But I can't. This movie was made because Billy Bob Thornton wanted an Oscar.
Well, it was actually
made.
So it was actually made because so Billy Bob Thornton met Billy Wilder, who's a famous director and writer, and Billy Wilder told him, "You are too ugly to be famous." Like, they were friends, and he's like, "You're too ugly. You need to, if you want to be a star, you're gonna have to write your own thing." And then star in it. And later on in life,
say that again. Billy Wilder
told him,
"Oh wow,
that you're too ugly. You know, you're just like not right. You're not a leading man. So if you want some big part and you want to make it, you're gonna have to write something for yourself and do it to prove people that you can do things." And he was like, "All right, I'll do that." And then apparently they've talked since then, and he was like, "I don't remember saying that, but I'm glad because you're awesome." Like,
right.
But he came up with his character when he was hold on, I have the name of the movie. It was he was on another film set where he played a train operator, and his part actually ended up getting cut. But he just like started working with this character in the mirror, and like came up with the whole backstory about killing his mom and all that kind of stuff. And he like wrote this one-man show that he then used the proceeds to do a short film, which the little reporter girl in the short film was played by, what's her name? Pretty in Pink.
Molly Ringwald.
Yeah. And then after that short film, he got the funding to make the full movie. But it is. You're absolutely right. It wasn't like to win an Oscar as much as it was to give himself a better career. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why he made this movie.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue I have with this. They were like, "You're too ugly," and then he thought, "Well, you know who else is ugly? The mentally challenged." Yeah, and then he made a fucking character. That's what kind of bugs me the most about this, because it's just exploiting, the intellectually disabled. Honestly, in my mind, that's what's happening in this film. He was like, "I win an Oscar, and this is how you do it."
It's interesting.
I talked about that exact same thing when we covered Rain Man, and I do, Erin, agree with you completely on that subject with when it comes to Hollywood. Having able-minded and bodied people, whatever is the correct way to say that, I apologize, portraying intellectually challenged people. It's gross. It's a cash grab, and it's fucking gross. It grosses me out. This movie didn't. Me and Chase debated about this before we started. I didn't get that feeling from this movie for some reason. I did not feel like Carl's character.
I think it's a combination because of the honesty of the film and the honesty of the characters, but then also what you're talking about, Erin, where it isn't because Billy Bob Thornton was trying to do an honest show about these backwater people, for lack of a better word, that are like, you're like, this is what this world is like. He knows that world because that's where he's from, and he knew that this would be a character he could play because he's ugly. It just so happened that it was well written and well performed, and it is very real. That I think it can, depending on how you look at it, there is I don't know if it's a saving grace. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like there is something that could be learned from it, the way that it is. But I think that Erin has a point with the exploitation of it as well.
Definitely. I just felt like Billy Bob did a good job of making the character more than just an an intellectually challenged person, though. He did a really good job of making the character have a real depth to him and a real like beautiful soul. Like the character was a beautiful person. Other than the fact that it was sort of a homicidal maniac. Like obviously,
Well, he was definitely not a homicidal maniac.
Didn't know the
it was all on
difference.
purpose.
Like
Kill his mother. Yeah.
right. Like, but
No,
did that
he
as
killed
a
his-
child.
Yeah,
But
he did that when he was 12, and he thought
then
that
he
she was
went. But
getting
then he
killed.
went and killed someone after he got released, which you saw that coming. You
Yeah.
knew that was going to happen. Like,
Oh yeah.
I like as soon as he said, "Now I guess you're wondering if I'm going to kill someone again." Well, I don't reckon I got any reason to. It's like, oh, he's going to find a reason to, and then sure enough, he did. And but it was a good reason. Like, if, like, does anyone deserve to die? No, but in his head, he was protecting this boy and his mother that he loved, and so he did that for them.
Yeah, he was literally doing it to prevent to prevent.
So
them
he
from
found
getting
a
hurt, but
reason,
then-
and the reason was Doyle.
I mean, I think the main reason in his
Fucking,
mind
Hoobastank.
was less that that Doyle was going to hurt them, but it was more that that kid was going to end up killing Doyle, and like just the same way he killed his.
There's that as well, because he kept saying, like, man, I wish I could just kill him.
Yeah, and he knew that was going to happen, and when that happens, his life happens, and he
not to
doesn't
talk
want,
like that.
he
You're
doesn't
just a
want
boy.
anything in his life to happen to that boy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, just Carl's character, like Billy Bob fucking just really did a good job of making that character seem like a real person and
Well,
a real thing with real depth and real emotion to him. Like, he may not have been able to express it in a way that we deem normal, quote unquote, but it was all there. And he, was clearly dealing with his demons, considering the consequences of his actions when he was younger. He talked about how he studied up some on killing himself, and that was fucking like, whoa, dude.
That moment was weird. Frank, 12-year-old, was like, "You ever thought about killing yourself?" Like out of nowhere. It's like,
I mean, this shit gets it's dark.
It gets dark. Yeah, it does. But yeah, I didn't have as much problem with this character as I did with a character like Rain Man, or say a movie like I Am Sam, where it literally is straight up like, okay, this person has this
melodrama.
This difference, and here I am, this able-bodied person, just portraying them so that I can get a fucking Oscar. You know what I mean? Like that shit disturbs me a lot more than what was portrayed in this movie per se.
On the flip side of that, I feel like by this point, all these movies already came out.
Yeah.
I mean, Forrest Gump, Rain Man, all these movies were already out, and I felt like he did this to prove people that he was a good actor, and he did. He showed everyone that he was a good actor.
He definitely could have been part of that.
I think it was a little bit, flirting.
I mean, he was working. Yeah. He had been working on this character for 10 years, so it was before Rain Man. It was before Forrest Gump. Like he came up with this character when he did that movie in '87, and he did the play and the short film. I think the short film came out in like '94, which is the same year as Forrest Gump or whatever. So, but you're right. I mean, it still isn't anything new. Right? It's all I mean, I'm sure Flowers for Algernon is from the fucking '50s, and that's the same thing.
I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is, Aaron?
I don't even know what that is. Now.
Yeah, no.
I think the movie was Charlie. It was a short, like it was a novella about a guy who is with intellectual disability, and they give him a doctor creates this medicine that it's a shot that you get, and then you become smarter, and he gets smarter, and then he also ends up regressing back to normal. The movie's called Charlie, and it's fantastic. But the book was called Flowers for Algernon. Algernon was the little mouse. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
That's just to say
this is the Flowers for Algernon gap.
No matter when Billy Bob came up with this, people had been playing mental challenge.
Sure,
people.
absolutely.
I mean, Mice and Men, that was another one. That was a book first.
I was definitely getting Of Mice and Men vibes from this.
And Boo Radley from right.
Very.
What was it that you were saying about this movie? It was the Dark Knight.
It was I
get what you're saying more now.
Forrest Gump. It was the Dark Knight of Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? Is what it was like.
Like Forrest Gump is Batman, and this was like the gritty.
Yeah,
reboot.
the gritty version of Forrest Gump or something. You know what I mean? The real version or something like that is what it felt like. You know, because I believe it came out after Forrest Gump as well.
Yeah, Forrest Gump was 94. This was 96.
Because there was I mean, to me there was a lot of similarities in the at least the the way the characters not necessarily talked, but you know, they're from the South, their backstory, that kind of thing. Except Forrest Gump didn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
but,
and Forrest Gump paints a different picture of the South.
Yeah,
too.
and it's all like happy and every wow, look at all these amazing things that happen, and this one's just like I'm literally just walking around because I have nowhere else to go, and you know, thank God I made a friend out of this kid, but I still killed people, and I'm about to kill someone. You know what I mean? It's like gritty. And then they ended up playing football, which this is the third movie we've done where there's been a sort of unnecessary sports break. You know what I mean?
Twilight?
Twilight with the baseball, which was totally fucking ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
And then Top Gun with the volleyball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hanging with the boys.
that scene was needed.
Right. Yes, of course.
I feel like most of this movie was just filler. Can I say that? Like,
yeah, you can
absolutely.
The whole dating subplot was unnecessary.
That
really
I agree. I agree.
So, football, I kind of see the football adding the relationship between Frank.
Right. I didn't think they would actually depict it. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
But it did lead to the whole thing of like, it was a friendship between two boys, because like, for lack of a better word,
sure,
Frank is a child in his intellectual thing, but it also was that Frank was filling that gap as that boy's father.
Right.
And I think that you're right, and it's because it's paced and written almost and kind of shot like a play. You know, where a play is kind of about nothing. It's just these scenes that happen. You know, it's not really about the storyline or the plot. And there's a lot that you could cut that whole subplot with them dating or him going out on that date with that girl. You could cut that out.
Absolutely. I didn't need to know about her shoes.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know, people with intellectual disabilities can have normal life and seek romantic relationships.
Right.
But that wasn't the point of this movie.
No.
I feel like it was added.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make that a point of the movie, make it a stronger, aspect. It was just this weird 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And then never mentioned again.
Never again. Exactly.
So when this film got bought, it was made for $1 million. And
whoa. No spoilers on the numbers now.
No, but Miramax bought it. They paid $10 million for the movie so that they could do all their distribution and everything. And the rapist Harvey Weinstein, he watched the first 30 minutes of it and was like, buy it, we got to have this movie. And then after he found out how long it was like pissed off that he paid that much and made them cut 30 minutes of it. So this movie was originally 30 minutes longer.
Whoa.
That's too long.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he had a point there. Rapist, yes, but yeah, let's cut a bit out of this movie.
Man.
We haven't even talked about the plot yet.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to your notes. We jump around on this show.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. We're having a good convo.
Okay. She worked out a Hoochie dollar.
Yeah. Hoochie's dollar store. Which the first time you hear Hoochie's and dollar, you think strip club. You know, like that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's great. And I was like, oh, it's just a dollar store. It's not some kind of budgeted strip club.
Exactly.
Hoochie's
dollar store.
He's carrying all her laundry and shit too, you know. You've seen. Anyway, yeah. What else you got there for us?
So yeah, he Am I just reading off my notes? Or
Yeah, just go for your
talk about the
notes.
plot?
Or
Because
if anything,
because like I also wanted to go back to first off, there was maybe 4 women in this whole movie.
Yeah,
And
there's definitely less than 10, and I think only like 3 have
was there
names.
even that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But my favorite part was when the 2 students came to interview Carl.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is a thing. People on the spectrum, they have light sensitivity. But again, if that's a point, then make it more of a point. Because I feel like that was just added in there to give some kind of weird mood lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, I think that was just
'Cause it never
because of
happened again.
Yeah, because I think so the short film is just the interview. It's not any of the rest of it. Yeah, it's just the interview, and so I think that was like pulled directly from the short film. Was this intense lighting, and he's got the light sensitivity, and then when they expanded it to this full length movie, they're like, well, we can't keep that up.
Yeah.
But why keep it in there at all? Other than it looked really cool.
Kind of mood lighting happening. Then he's like, I'm supposed, I'm in here because I killed my mom, and the cop was like, look at me. Do not ask him a fucking question. Do not ask him any goddamn question. And then when she asked the question, like, are you going to murder again? And the cop was just like, serious? So one goddamn thing. I told you not to goddamn fucking do. Like, he wanted to slap her. And he was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to murder her again, I reckon. But the way he looked at her was just so, I was crying laughing. He was just like, the one God, you're interviewing this murderer, this lifetime opportunity for any journalist. The one thing I fucking ask you not to do, and you're gonna goddamn do it.
That's awesome.
Well, also, I love any interview where they're like, don't ask questions.
Yeah, right.
Is this guy Tom Cruise? What are we doing?
Yeah, right.
Don't ask anything. So then the hospital was like, bye-bye.
Just straight up. They're like, well,
They're like, see you later.
Yeah,
And
we
he
hear
comes
your
back
dad
and he's like,
lives there.
Nah.
Oh, man.
He goes back to the hospital like, nah, I want my room back. No,
Like, no, that's not how this works. I've tried it out there. I didn't much like it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would either.
Right, yeah.
So he meets the boy. Fucking, what's his name? Frank. And Frank just comes up to him and is like, hey, I don't know you, but you want to play football?
Yeah, dude.
Like, you want to help me with this? And he's like, well, I murdered my mom. And then he was like, that's cool. I like the way you talk.
This kid, he has seen enough shit that he's like, whatever. I just want to talk to anyone. I guess he has no friends, but he plays with football with all those people. So it's he had no problem with that.
Yeah, right.
It's like, this movie is just Billy Bob Thornton going around telling people he murdered someone, and everyone being like, they're just yes-anding him. They're like, good, yes, and let's play football sometime. Yes, and I have a coworker that you just loved me. Like, and I hate homos, and that's basically
right. Yeah. Oh shit.
I love my notes. It just says cocksuckers.
Yeah.
Oh, Doyle is the most interesting character I have seen in a movie in a long time.
Oh,
okay.
Let's get into it.
Get into it. Yeah. We need to break this dude down here.
He's like, you're ugly, you're fat, you're retarded, you're a faggot, I hate you. Just kidding.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I mean, I know people like that from high school. You know,
right. Yeah,
like, you
exactly.
can see exactly who this guy used to be.
Right.
It was very similar to what he is now. But like just this like real dark, mean everything. And he's like, but I'm joking. It's like, you're not joking. There's no joke here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's not a joke to anybody.
No.
And we know you're not joking.
And I love how he said, he goes, I can't eat around somebody like that. That'll make me sick. It's like midgets and antique furniture.
Yeah.
What did antique furniture?
So ageist as well. Yeah. So add that to the list.
Ageist about furniture.
At least. Yeah, it was just he just pretty much didn't he didn't seem to like himself either.
No, he was a dick.
You know, he had a real therapy session when he went into his drunk rage there, kicking everyone out, and then he had to call himself to save face, and he was like, you know when I'm down. He's like, I told you not to talk to me like that when I'm getting down on myself. It's like, oh my God.
Just
this whole like
very
Pandora's
manipulative.
box of fucking
he's just manipulative.
Yeah.
And not good at it, but good at it in that way.
Right,
It's really, he's very gross.
Dwight Yoakam did a very good job of portraying this.
I mean, this guy, who knew that he was that good? He's been in what, like this, and then the 2 Crank movies, and I think that's it.
He was in the Crank movies?
He's fucking great.
All right.
He's great in those. He was in Crank and Crank 2 High Voltage. He was the
Oh, Crank.
yeah.
Like Christmas with the Cranks. He wasn't that.
Nope, it wasn't in that one. Missed out on that one. What was that? Was that Tim Allen and Tim Allen and Danny DeVito? Or no, that was Deck the Halls.
No, Dan Aykroyd.
Is it Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Oh yeah, because I think they did it
Diane
on
Lane.
Yeah.
No, yeah, was it?
Or was she in? Man, there's a lot of bad Christmas movies that. There's Deck the Halls. There's Christmas with the Cranks, and then there's the one with Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini. That was another one that was like that.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Dwight Yoakam was in none of those. No.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
He was in Crank and Crank 2 High Voltage.
Fair enough. And he performed on SNL like one time in the 90s.
He can't get like below like a certain blood pressure or something, and then he'll die. And
Yeah. He has to keep his adrenaline up. Yeah. That movie is intense. I love that movie.
Still haven't seen it.
So basically, we meet Doyle. Everything's going wrong. Bryce, did you like this band?
Okay, so this is a very good question, Erin, because
I like that Erin knows Bryce.
All right, listen. This is a very good question because the song, whatever that song was they were playing, admittedly, it was some pretty fire surf rock, man. It wasn't bad. Like honestly, the fucking like, you know, guitar riff and stuff. And Doyle was right. As far as live performance goes, you got to play through it. You can't just stop and tune your guitar in the middle of the fucking show. It was very troublesome.
Can't be like basically blackout drunk and never rehoarse.
Well, apparently, if there's one thing Doyle can do, that's it. The interesting thing about the band, though, the man in the wheelchair was Vic Chestnut, a real musician who was actually wheelchair bound. And very talented, very overlooked and underrated. And I was actually at his last ever show. He passed away a couple weeks after. And it was honestly, I want to share this story here because I didn't realize it was him. I was watching it, and it was one of those things where I was like, why does that guy look so fucking familiar? But he looked a lot younger than like I remember seeing him, you know. So I couldn't quite place it on it.
When did you see him?
This was in 2011, I want to say.
Okay.
Either 2011 or 2012 or 2010, one of those years. And I went with my good buddy Kyle, and it was at a church in Austin that opened itself up to being used as a music venue because it's Austin, and what else is going to happen there? And it was honestly amazing because it was this, you know, big cathedral, and it was like perfect for the sound they were doing. And then Guy Picciotto from the band Fugazi was playing guitar for him. And so for me, it was kind of a double whammy because I had not known Vic Chestnut very much before then. So I got to see him play live, but then I also got to see Guy Picciotto as well. And Vic played, and it was an amazing show. It was beautiful. And then he sadly, I believe, took his own life a couple weeks later. But it was for any like Vic Chestnut fans that might be listening, and maybe they didn't get maybe they weren't there, probably weren't there. It was an amazing and beautiful experience. And what a last show to like, you know, kind of, you know, give to the world before you leave. You know, it was in a church. It was a very spiritual experience. It was very awesome. So I just want to share that. Very touching.
What's this?
Vic Chestnut. He was the one that was in the he was
Wheelchair.
the one he was said
Yeah.
he was the
Wait.
lyricist. Or no, he was the tune man.
tune
the
man,
guy that makes
yeah.
the tune.
The melody.
Morris was the lyricist.
Yeah.
My favorite character.
Yeah.
In this film. No, but when did you see him?
This was in 2000 and either 2011 or 2012, I want to say.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it was very sad to hear that he passed, but yeah, it was an amazing show. Amazing way to, kind of give before you go. But anyway,
He said the name of his band was Widespread Panic. At this
was he
time.
in Widespread
Yeah,
Panic?
in fact, one of their songs was on this soundtrack.
Yeah, they were really big in Austin.
Yeah. That
Wow,
was his
holy
band.
shit. That's amazing. I did not know that he was even in Widespread Panic. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And then you also had that bearded man who was in a bunch of other things.
Yeah, I always know him from
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. He was one of the guys on the construction site that would play.
Yeah.
But what was
Was that
this?
Morris?
Mike. He was Monty Johnson. Horace
Oh,
was.
was it Monty that I liked? Which one? Was there a Morris?
Morris. Yeah, he was the
one that
lyricist
sang,
guy.
Yeah. Bruce
I liked
Hampton.
him.
Now Bruce Hampton is he was a colonel, and he was the tambourine player. Yeah, in the thing, but the Aquarium Rescue Unit and Code Talkers.
I was like, this guy is just straight up sitting there playing a tambourine, and
Yeah.
yet he's making fun of the gay guy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
he's doing
Yeah.
the bare minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. Well, everyone's chilling, and then Doyle lost his shit. Was what it
Dude,
Real fast,
yeah.
0 to 100,
Yeah.
that escalated real fast.
Yeah.
Everyone
Right.
was having a good old time.
and then he kicks them all out exactly like Frank said he did the last
Yeah.
time. He goes, "You told them never to come back here." He goes, "That's just me playing with a boy. That's what you do with friends.
Yeah, right,
You
which
treat
is
them like
weird.
absolute shit."
Yeah.
That's true. And
Yeah.
then the worst. This worst scene was when he pushed Linda, and Frank lost his shit, and Frank started throwing all these things at him, and it's a very emotional scene. I don't want to poke light of abuse at all, but the fact that Frank kept finding shit to throw at
He
him
did not
for like
stop,
5
man.
minutes. It was like leaving the scene, then coming back with
Yeah.
another bottle,
Yeah.
like a layup.
And he had
Yeah.
like the encyclopedias that were holding up the TV. He was fucking going.
It looked like he actually hit him in the head at one
I think he
point.
did.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was like, ay, and he was really chunking that shit.
Yeah,
And
it
then-
went on for like a good 10 minutes of him just
Yeah.
throwing random furniture at Doyle.
All one shot. Yeah. You could,
And that's when Doyle gets up and starts being like, it's your fault for me feeling bad
Right,
about myself.
yeah, right.
Wow, what a dick.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Doyle.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, Doyle. I get it, Billy Bob. I'm not supposed to like this character.
Yeah, that was real easy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But you're right though, Aaron. What if Frank just kept coming
throwing-
back?
yeah.
He'd like exit screen and then it's like, oh, I guess it's over, and then oh no, here it comes again, and what does he got now?
He brings in like the cashier or the cash register from another set.
Yeah,
like,
right,
like just he walked out the door and found something else. He's got the clacker from the backstage.
Right, yeah. But,
There's a
just
cat
keeps
at one
throwing
point.
shit. Is it, okay, is he done yet? I don't. And the whole time, fucking Doyle's just like, oh,
Please stop.
oh,
God.
yeah. I mean, I like that they showed that he really was all talk, really, in that scene, though. That he really did get his shit handed to him there by a child after, setting up the character to be this menacing asshole, scary piece of shit. He really was just this fucking hot-headed asshole that if he really tried anything, he probably would get his fucking shit handed to him. And I thought it was good portraying that, because you find in life that is often the case. The meanest, shittiest people that are the most threatening are the ones that that probably would be the ones that would get their ass whooped, but it's fucked up because they are so mean, and humans generally don't want to be that way and don't want to suffer that kind of verbal abuse, that we allow these people to fucking overpower us and stuff with their
even the off-screen guy
with their bullshit.
Even the off-screen guy from when they're playing the music, like he waits until the music's quiet for a second to yell like, "Stop playing that shit!" And then Doyle goes off on. He's like, "Come on, guys, I'm trying. I gotta work." Like he was angry, but he wasn't like aggressive.
Yeah,
against
right,
him. And
right.
Doyle's just like, "I played cards with so and so Junior. That's the goddamn shit."
Yeah, right.
And he's like, "Fuck, Doyle."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This movie, man. This movie.
Yeah.
Can y'all explain to me this bridge joke? I didn't understand it.
So they have,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
All I know is that Carl's telling of it was 100 times better than the original telling of it.
I was like, that. I turned to my wife. I goes, "That's how Bryce would tell it."
Hell yeah, dude. I fucking laughed my ass, and I turned to Ashley and I was like, that was comedic genius right there.
The joke is,
Like-
is that, the California guy thinks he's got a big old dick because it can touch the water from the bridge. Yeah, that's a big drop.
right.
And then the Arkansas boy, he doesn't. It doesn't even register him that it's that cold because he knows how deep the water is.
Right.
So his dick drags the bottom
It's
of the
touching
lake.
the bottom of the hub.
So he's got a much bigger dick than old California. That's
Yeah.
the joke.
One of them pooping? I don't get it.
Nope. Wow. It's one of them
I'm
pooping.
such an idiot. I was like,
Dude.
I don't get this joke.
That's
So it's
awesome.
like the third time they said it, I need to ask them to explain it to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I prefer if I'm at, which I will never tell that joke because it's not a
funny.
good joke
It's
at all.
not funny.
Not very funny.
No.
But it is a good joke for those characters though. Like
Yeah.
that is exactly the kind of joke that some backwoods motherfuckers would say like that. You know what I'm saying? And think that it's the most hilarious thing in the world because all they have is trees to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, man. But yeah, fucking Billy Bob when he was like, I reckon one of them boys is from Arkansas. Oh, that's the best punchline ever. Just like say the joke like
he just
fuck it straight up and then just go
two boys peeing. One thinks it's cold, the other thinks it's deep. I reckon one of them from Arkansas.
That's a great deconstruction.
But again, I love that moment because he doesn't understand the joke. He doesn't get that it's vulgar either. He just knows it's funny and that she's having a rough time, and he's trying to alleviate the situation with humor.
Yeah.
So like it's sweet in that, again, with that the what's the word? Wow, I totally brain farted on that. Ignorance. It's like sweet with ignorance.
Oh, sure, yeah. Innocence even?
Innocent,
maybe?
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was and then we get into the whole dating thing, which
It's just awkward.
Right. It didn't need to be in there at all.
Have you, by the way, have you ever watched, it's on Netflix, it's called Love on the Spectrum. It is such a cute show. It's
Never
so
seen it.
sweet. And it's, people with different, levels of spectrum of, what do you call it? Oh, wow. What's the
mental
it's
difference?
well, they're all on the spectrum.
Yeah, they're all on the spectrum of not Asperger's. It's the
autism.
Autism.
Oh,
Yeah, they're on the
okay.
autism spectrum, and they're all people who want to date, and so they like kind of set them up and stuff. It's really sweet. But yeah, that's what that was. Except neither of those people wanted to go on a date, and it was really awkward.
Yeah, and then we continue with this gay storyline, which is fine. I will say I don't like in movies, and this is a big thing from back in the day, where a straight cis character is like, it's okay that you're gay or trans. It's okay. And I'm just there like, all right. Like
Yeah.
I guess Vaughn needed to hear that he had someone on his side, but also at the same time it's just like,
Well, and I think that
Oh,
like,
yeah.
cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's partially that it comes from a different time, and another part that it comes from a different, like that part of the world is not ready to, even consider the fact that it's not wrong. that they have to say that it is different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is like, I don't need you to tell me it's okay because it's not okay,
right,
or whatever.
right.
You know, like, and I think that just comes from who those people are.
Right.
So like they, again, with them thinking that they're being sweet to that person, and it's like, this is part of the problem.
Yeah,
With what you're
right. I
Yeah.
wonder if
For that point in time, yeah, cool, cute. But for me now, as a queer person watching this movie in 2021, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah.
glad I have that approval.
Right.
Are we supposed to be patting that person on the back at the end of
Yeah.
this movie? I don't think so.
You're talking about at the end when Carl told him that stuff, right? And he was like, "Oh, thank you," like that, right? That's the scene you're talking about?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
okay. I think you're okay. I think you'll make a good dad. I'm like,
Right. It's like,
Cute.
oh, thanks, Carl. Yeah. Thanks, Carl. But
Also-
really didn't need that from you, buddy. Okay, but thank
That's
you.
where this is coming from.
Oh, what, Erin, if you don't mind me asking, as a homosexual man, what did you think of John Ritter's performance in this movie?
good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good for the 90s. I mean, I'll say that. And it's very true. I mean, that's how it is. Even now, how it is, small towns,
Mhm.
especially then, especially now for like, people who may be trans who are very scared of people finding out their identity.
Well,
so
and
I
like-
thought that was a cool inclusion. I mean,
Mhm.
The whole, like his whole thought of like that he thought people didn't know that he was gay, and it's like everybody knows. Like I don't. What did you like? Was that uncomfortable, or was that like?
no, I think what it was trying to say is that everyone knows, but there's a difference between being gay in that time. There's a difference between being gay and then being out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's funny, but as long as he doesn't like make it known to everyone,
Right.
as long as he's not too gay, then it's fine. But
Right.
I think there's a very real fear in that if he would be like openly holding that who the other guy,
Yeah. The mortician. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and like they kept
They would
saying.
probably die.
Yeah, and they kept saying like there was all the rumors of all the different places they had gotten caught having sex, and he's like, "That's
Yeah.
not true. I didn't
Right.
do that."
Yeah,
But
just a bunch of rumors. But
So-
I think it's the difference between being out and then being like out.
like active, yeah.
People knowing and then acting a certain way. None of those characters would have been okay. Not even Linda would have been okay. I don't think if he was like
Yeah.
fully living his gayest life. But again, I feel like all of that, it's good. It's nice to have this discussion back then about being gay in a small town. But did it really add anything to the plot? I mean, at the end of the day, did it really continue the storyline or was it just another thing in this movie? I don't know.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's another thing in this movie. I mean, as far as plot is concerned with the gay character is she needed a friend's house that Frank could tell them to go to. I mean Carl could tell them to go to while he killed Doyle.
Mhm.
And like if she didn't have another friend, but it didn't have to be a gay person. It could have been anybody. that
Right,
was
yeah,
a
sure.
friend,
Yeah. I wonder if I mean, like what you were saying, Aaron, like I wonder if at the time, maybe it was a good thing to have that sort of acceptance portrayed in a movie like that, but was it necessary? I don't.
Now I do.
Work. Good for
Yeah, right.
I do know that Billy Bob wrote that part specifically for Ritter.
Oh,
They
really?
were friends. They had worked together before,
Huh.
and that was the first other character besides Carl that he had come up with, and he wrote it specifically for John Ritter.
And as a gay man,
Yeah,
like to
as
be a gay man.
yeah.
Huh. I wonder why he like had to make it that though.
I mean,
You know what I'm
I think a lot of it is one of the reasons of having that is it's about a bunch of characters who don't have a place in this. You have the abused woman who's overlooked, so
Yeah.
she doesn't really have her place. You have this openly or closeted homosexual man in this hillbilly town
Uh-huh.
where he's not accepted, so he's out of place. And then you have Carl, who is
Yeah.
intellectually disabled. That's the word I keep trying to remember to use. That intellectually disabled, and he doesn't belong. You got the kid who's small. He's the runt, and he doesn't. Fit
so
in
for
as
them to
well.
all come together, I can see that.
So I mean, it was just another. But like again, that goes with like, why does it have to stick out? Why is that something?
Yeah,
that, and it is that a commentary on like normalcy or normalcy of that specific town? You know what I mean?
Sure, right.
So,
yeah.
So then it gets to the real meat and bones, where Doyle comes back and is like, "I'm sorry, your mom's friends with a gay guy."
Yeah.
Like that.
Just joking,
dude.
Yeah. Because I also hate gay guys and kids, but your mom had to go buddy up with two of them. It's like, well, one is her kid.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He goes, no, I'm joking. Why? No, you're not. You're not joking. God, he sucks so bad.
In the room with a hammer.
It just stares at him.
I know.
He's like, I want to get baptized.
Yeah.
That would, honestly, that is the one time where you kind of side with Doyle. Like, why are you in my bedroom with a hammer?
Right.
It's like, okay, work. Let's get you baptized. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll baptize you. Please put the hammer down, though. Can you put the hammer down first? Then we'll get you baptized.
But you know what? I love any woman who at 3:00 in the morning is like, you know what I'm going to do? Bake biscuits.
Oh yeah.
And not only that, she was going to make biscuits and gravy, which is like the shit. And he was like, no, I'll just take the mustard. Well, all right. The gravy's much better, dude.
What is he doing with that mustard? Is he dipping it?
He just rubs it on. He spreads it on and just eats biscuits with mustard.
And again, it's the largest jar of mustard I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what
it's like a Costco mustard.
What you need all that mustard for, but.
Did y'all think that scene with his dad was? Again, I think that was just a really weird. I guess I liked that scene where he met his dad.
Yeah, well, I think
that was Robert Duvall too, of all people.
He did it as a favor to Billy Bob, and Billy Bob did a role in one of his movies for free.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, like that scene is in there because it's showing the growth of Carl's character, where he was going there when he got out of the thing to like kill him. Yeah. Like he wanted to kill his dad because his dad was so awful to him, and he realizes the difference between killing and killing is wrong, which then at the end he does it for a different reason, not he's like, what's the point in killing somebody that's going to sit in their chair and yell at a dog that doesn't exist anymore? This guy already is ruined.
Right.
So, but yeah, and then that monologue that he talks with that kid where they aborted the baby, but it was still alive, and that
was so wild. Oh
yeah, and that kid's just like, that's some crazy shit. It's like, yeah. I mean, that's like
buried it alive.
Yeah, he buried it alive in the box.
Yeah, that was weird because it seemed like it was a miscarriage, but then it
wasn't a miscarriage. It was an abortion. They said that they made it come out early.
Yeah. Oh, he said they made it come out early.
Mom and Dad did something that made it come out early.
Yeah.
So that was
coat
wild. Hanger. They pulled that baby out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah,
up.
that was fucked up.
Yeah. And there's like, I reckon I shouldn't have done that. I was like, oh, you think?
Yeah.
Well, and again, he was like,
you think you should have buried your brother alive?
Well, that kid was at the time, he was probably 8, I think you said, and mentally intellectually disabled. Like, he didn't know what was going on, but he does know this is fucked up.
Yeah.
But like, he was already living in a pit in the backyard. So like, what would this kid have done if they didn't want it? Like, he didn't know what he said. I didn't know how to raise no baby or whatever. Like, like he wanted to, but what could he do?
Yeah.
And, but, even Frank was like, you should have raised him. I would have raised him.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're 8 though. Like, how do you? What are you gonna do?
That baby is not. I think he should have probably. I mean, I think he did the. I mean, I sorry to say, but he probably should have did something to kill a little faster.
A little,
Yeah, right, right.
Burying it alive.
Yeah, it was his way of
I was like,
putting it
what
out of
the
misery
fuck
without.
movie am I watching? Like at that point.
Right.
Yeah, it's real fucked up. That's real dark shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that got dark fast. There.
Well, it was already pretty dark.
Yeah, right.
that one did feel like it came out of the blue. We were already like an hour 45 minutes in.
We were already ready for this guy's life to be like, oh
Yeah.
wow, this kid had a fucked up childhood. We've already met his crazy dad. We know he lived in his dad didn't want him, and he buried him made him live in a shed like a dog. And on top of that, he also made him bury his aborted, still living brother. Ooh,
it was a lot.
it was a bit much.
So basically now he's decided he's going to kill Doyle. And this is one of my favorite things is he's going around. It's obvious to all the people that he's going to kill Doyle.
Yeah.
And he goes up to Linda and he's giving her this big old speech about like how she loves, like how she's a good mom. And I think it's obvious to Linda already. And she's like, Carl.
Yeah, just lets him go.
Like,
well, they all say Carl, like because Vaughn says Carl, and then they just let him go, and then the boy is also Carl, and then just like lets him go.
Yeah,
every single one of them says that.
They all wanted Doyle to die.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to.
Yeah,
like, you know what? This is
like,
for the
Carl,
best.
in the back of the
Don't
mind.
forget your jacket.
Yeah.
Carl, here's a tarp. Put this down first.
Yeah, right.
Remember, the veins are in the neck.
Yeah.
You gotta make your clean cut.
Well, the only person who doesn't think he's gonna kill Doyle is Doyle after he straight up tells him, I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah.
And he was waiting to get the piece of information of who do I call once I kill you. And Doyle was just like, well, I suppose if you're going to do that, then you dial 911. Okay, thanks.
Well, he goes, yeah, tell him to send an ambulance. But I mean, if you really want to kill me, tell him to send a Hearst. I like that he says Hearst.
Yeah. And if you watch it with the captions, they put quotes over Hearst. Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
I also think that was complete bullshit, like filmmaking wise. I don't know. Maybe this is just me. But how are you going to build up that this character is a piece of shit and that he deserves to die and then cut away from the murder?
Man, okay. Yes,
I have the murder. Like, I want to see him like get. I mean, I don't know. I don't like when they do cutaway murder scenes.
Yeah,
especially for a bad person.
So there's a couple of reasons of why you would want that. Is one, there is no violence really in the movie, and it's not an act of, it wasn't supposed to be a shock value thing, but I think probably the reason they cut away is they couldn't do it where it would look good. They didn't have that kind of money.
You say about violence, yes, sure, but you also deeply described an abortion scene and burying a fetus alive.
You didn't see it though.
How tell me a little bit more than just Carl swinging a blade, like.
Well, and there wasn't even.
And also,
splatter.
he he was just like clunk.
Yeah,
clunk, and no splatter.
Yeah.
But see here, my problem with it was that they had spent all this time on, even though you knew it was going to happen, they spent all this time on like building Carl's character into this redeemed character and into this like gentle sweetheart, and like I care for this boy and his mother and I wouldn't hurt a fly. But I'm going to go ahead and kill someone anyway and go back to the thing.
Well,
it was like they'd spent so much time making it feel good. I thought he was going to go kill himself because he talked about how he'd studied up on suicide. And that he was saying goodbye, like goodbye, you will be happy.
That's sort of what you're supposed to.
Yeah, think. And then he goes and kills someone. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a buzzkill.
Well, it was his superhero action. I mean, he. This is the only way he could get.
But also, if you are going to do it, I agree with Erin. Show it.
Yeah, I think that there's there could be any artistic reason to not show it, but I really do think one of the main reasons you would not show it in a movie like this
Fatality.
is that you can't show, like, because of how real everything else is, it would be hard to recreate that realistically and make it not look cheesy. You know?
Well,
Yeah, sure.
it seemed like to me they were building up all this momentum to this end scene, and then it was a little bit of a letdown.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, I felt the same way.
It was a little bit of a, and it sounds weird saying out loud, but that was the filmmaker's intent, was to build momentum.
I felt the same
Am I
way.
wrong with that though? Like, you're supposed to see what's going on. You're supposed to feel the momentum happening. That he's going to kill this guy. He's going to kill them, and then it's kind of like a. Boop, like,
like
it
you.
was a small dip.
I love
Yeah.
I love a movie where the bad guy gets it, and like you see, you know, like in UHF where the bad guy loses his station, he loses all of his money. The bum who got the money bought the Rolex watch that he wanted, and he gets kicked in the crotch. That's how you like punish a bad guy. And, like, it's all on screen. Like this, it's just a little off screen. Like you don't get that catharsis as much.
It wasn't even. And then like the end, well, they were just like, "Oh, you should call out her." So I was like, "Oh, okay." Boop. Like that was. It was so anticlimactic.
I
It just
agreed.
kinda ruined most
I
of the
agree.
movie for me.
Yeah.
Like make more of a. I don't know, something more. I
Yeah.
feel like it needed a little bit more.
I agree.
That's
Well,
just-
and then I like the ending part where he tells that gross guy, stop talking to me. At the very end, the guy's like, "Ooh," and backs off of him. But
Yeah.
like one thing that I would have liked to see, and I mean, I get like that's a good ending, but maybe before that, like show the kid visiting or show
I know.
something like that, like give us a little bit of hope.
It still
in-
gets visitation rights,
yeah,
right?
like have the kid, make it obvious that the kid didn't just abandon him in this.
Or like cut to maybe it's like 10 years later and the kid's like older now and he comes and he's like, "Carl," and he's like, "Oh," you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something sweet like that,
and Carl's got glasses on to show that time has passed.
Right, exactly. Because he can't
He has
lose
the
any more
work
hair.
haircut, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's got like the Alexander. He's moved on from the Caesar to the Alexander.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. That's all I have. That was just
No, that's an interesting point. I didn't
I
even
agree.
really think about that.
I felt the
not
end was a
being able to see
letdown
it.
as well. I felt like either let it be sappy and sentimental and feel good and just ride that into the sunset, or if you're gonna kill the guy, fucking kill the guy.
I will say, going back to music in this film, that whole montage was underwritten with like this like real grungy, rocky like guitar music.
No,
When
it
he
was
was, like,
more like
making
it was more like 60s psychedelic. Like
Yeah.
when someone when they show someone put the LSD on their tongue,
Yeah.
and then it's like wow with
Yeah.
the wah pedal
and it was like
shit.
real dark, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This music is
It-
taking me out of
Yeah,
it."
definitely.
While he's like,
Definitely.
flattening the
Yeah.
blade to get the handle or whatever. Like,
Right.
I was like, "Why are we listening
I
to this?"
thought
Like,
I thought we were
heavy-
about to be. I thought that Oliver Stone had taken over and
Yeah.
was about to start showing some Natural Born Killers. Fucking, it was just. It totally took me out
Well,
of it
and
as
then
well.
with that kind of music,
Yeah.
to make your point, with that kind of music, and then no physical
right.
representation of the
right.
violence.
It just something
weird.
about it was. It could have. It just needed more. Needed more zhuzh. Needed more zhuzh in the kill.
I agree.
Okay. Well, does that about top round out your notes there, Aaron?
That's all I got.
All right.
Well, I will
I
say,
wrote down Billy Bob Thornton knows one stereotype about mental disability and wrote 2 characters.
Yeah.
there you go.
Wait. What's the other character he wrote?
The girlfriend.
The girlfriend.
Oh, I thought okay.
Well,
I thought there was another movie he did that
No.
I don't know about.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
He did have a brother or a cousin or something that was mentally challenged, and so whose name was Carl, and so he
Okay. Well, now I feel bad.
Yeah,
so
right. I was like,
He knew.
well,
he
now
did-
you tell us
yeah, he
this.
had- so he knew some stuff that he like. Obviously, it wasn't a biography about that relative, but he knew some stuff about him. And then that guy actually died 3 months before or 3 months after this came out. And then the other thing was that he knew Billy Bob knew a guy when he was a kid. There was a boy who couldn't walk or talk well, like he had severe disabilities, and his parents kept him in a shed in a hole, like, you know, he talked about him being had. And the story behind that was that the mother was scared by a snake when she was pregnant, and they were like deeply religious, so they thought that the child was like the devil,
God,
like had the devil in him, and that's why he came out all weird.
Happy Easter, by the
Yeah,
way.
it turned out the kid had fucking polio. Like, it was not the devil, it was polio, and they just kept this kid and treated him like a fucking dog.
This is a true story?
This is a true story from where he grew up. So like these people are real.
They exist.
The stuff that he wrote about. That's why this movie feels lived in, and all the characters feel legitimate. Like, it does not feel melodramatic or over the top, even when he starts talking about, you know, burying his aborted brother. You know, it gets real fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
right.
anyway.
And then we don't even need to go into the role that religion plays in manipulating these already stupid people into doing even stupider shit like that. That pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll give him one of these. Bruce Lee. There we go. And then I think I'm good. We can. Did that make sense to you, Aaron? Any of that I just did? No. Like, could not hear any of the drop or anything. All right, so now we move on to our fun and games
segment.
Our segments here.
All right, so first up is box office.
Doing the numbers. All right.
You ready?
Give me the numbers.
Oh, he's got to
Give me your numbers, girl. Give me your weekend number. Give me your domestic number. Give me your worldwide numbers, girl.
I always love the guest who doesn't hear the beat.
There was a fire beat behind that, Aaron. You're just gonna have to.
It work.
Yeah. Guess what, Aaron?
Yeah.
It doesn't help it.
It
doesn't help it.
It's
I was
hot
like,
fire.
oh, he's doing this thing. Okay. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm proud of him.
Thank you.
That's the improv. Yes, and.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Okay.
So the budget for this movie was $1 million. It sold to Miramax for $10 million. I have the opening weekend, the domestic U.S. and Canada gross for the whole thing, and then I have the worldwide cumulative gross. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go with opening weekend, December 1st. A real Christmas feel-good movie, this one. Which it is in some ways, and other ways
Oscar
it's really
season,
not.
though, right?
Yeah,
That's
that is
literally
Oscar
Oscar season.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this movie is just made because.
Well, yeah, it was. You know,
But
it did
there's
the
so many
festivals.
that are too, and it's another big problem with movies that
I mean,
I've
this
always
was this did the festival circuit and then got bought by Miramax and then released.
Yeah,
and
right.
then that to get the Oscars. So, opening weekend. What do you think it was? I'm sure it was limited release.
Aaron, you want to do the honors here? I'll let you go first on these.
I think it did well. I think people ate this up. I'm gonna say.
This is just
I
the
don't know,
opening weekend, like the first
$500 million?
3 days it was out.
Oh, 3 days. 100,000.
Okay.
Okay. I like that. If we're going Price is Right rules, I think it made a little bit more, so I'm going to say $100,001.
Okay, well,
He chose poorly.
Bullshit.
It made $28,139.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, I'm
I was
sure
Aaron,
far
you win.
off.
that
You
was
win.
that was just the opening weekend, and I'm sure that's probably like New York, LA numbers. It's probably
Yeah,
limited
right.
release.
Sure.
So I will admit that the total gross that we're going into now for its whole run, U.S. and Canada, is much higher than that. So what do you think it made total, U.S. and Canada? Aaron, why don't you go first?
100 million.
100 million.
Okay. Well, Chase, you did say it was much higher.
Yeah.
Price is Right rules, though. I'm gonna take my chances here and go $1. Whatever his name is, Drew.
Let me do the math here, and I have to say, with that, Bryce,
You have chosen wisely.
One of the few times I've won.
It did make more than $1. It did make less than $100 million.
Okay.
It made $24,444,000.
Interesting.
$121.
Okay.
Off.
No, you're off by $75 million. So even without Price is Right rules, Bryce was still 24 or 50 million closer. All right, so worldwide gross, Erin. I will let you go first, and I will say it is under 100 million. The worldwide
90
gross.
million.
I kind of actually like that number. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 91 million.
We're playing Price is Right rules?
Yeah,
You chose poorly.
this is bullshit.
It only made about
Yeah, right.
9.8 million more. It's $34 million
wow.
dollars
Okay.
worldwide. Yeah, these movies don't
Way off.
These movies don't, see a huge market. And in '96, I don't even think there was that much of a Chinese market. That was like Top Gun and stuff.
Oh, sure, right.
Started going over there. So, but yeah, no, it's still for $1 million budget, it ended up pulling in 34 mil. So that's not half bad. This is a pretty big hit. He was nominated for Best Actor. He did not win.
Who did he lose to?
I don't know, but I can find
okay.
out. But I do know that he won, adapted screenplay. And that is the one Oscar. He's also been nominated for Best Actor in A Simple Plan, which is a Coen Brothers movie, and he did not win for that either. So this is his one Oscar. But yeah, so that is all we got there. So it's time to do the ratings.
Okay. Erin, as the guest and just to kind of refresh, he's getting cozy now.
Yep.
Just to refresh, give us a 1 out of 10 on a rating on how you felt about this movie. Or maybe I'll go first to give you an example of how we do it, just in case.
Yep.
So like out of 10 bags of laundry that a kid has to carry by himself a fucking mile away, I give this movie, I personally give it an 8 bags of laundry a kid has to carry. I did enjoy myself. I thought Billy Bob did really good being that character. And I just wish it was a little more feel good at the end. I wish it would have ridden the feel good into the sunset.
Like having the kid visit.
Yeah, exactly. Just something. But anyway, so that being said, Erin, give us your rating. I would be surprised if.
Well, I didn't like this movie. But
Yeah.
I respect this movie. So out of 10 things Frank threw at Doyle, I will give it
Nice.
6.5 things.
Wow, that's
right.
more than I expected you to give it.
I would have
Very
rated it out of French fried potatoes.
Yeah,
if I was
very
doing it. Yeah, I mean, I do love this movie. I don't give ratings when I've seen it. So
Sure.
yeah, I mean, this movie it's really well shot. It's really well acted. There's problematic things in it that you got to figure out one way or another if
Sure.
who decided, and that's for film theory. So, yeah, so let's, I have the Academy Awards. It was a big year for actors. So Billy Bob was nominated for Sling Blade against Tom Cruise for Jerry Maguire, which we did on this show.
That's right.
Jeffrey Rush for Shine, Ralph Fiennes for The English Patient,
Oh my gosh.
and Woody Harrelson for The People versus Larry Flint.
Oh wow.
So who do you
Really? He
think-
got nominated for that?
Yeah.
We need to do that one, by the way.
Yeah, I've only seen that once. And
Yeah.
it was good though.
Right.
Who do you think won out of that?
It had to be Ray Fiennes, right?
It was not. It was
Wow.
Jeffrey Rush.
Who the fuck is that? And what is Shine?
Jeffrey Rush, you probably know him best as
Jeffrey Rush, Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah, you know him best as Captain Barbosa.
Oh, wait, he was the. Oh, wait, he wasn't.
He was the
Tentacle
main,
Face.
No, he was.
Oh.
That's Bill Nye, or Nighy.
Oh,
not the science guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was not gonna do it.
No, Barbosa
Love
was
that.
he was the bad guy captain in the Black Pearl, the one that was a skeleton.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
It's been a
yeah.
while.
Yeah. It makes sense. Sure.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
have to do Shine, I guess.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. What other segment is there? Oh yeah, the recast, right?
Yep.
Okay, that means we only have time for one more segment here. The
Reboot. Recast.
Okay, Aaron, and for anyone that's listening for the first time, any of Aaron's fans that are listening because he's on, which we know will be happening. This is where we do a fucking recast. We choose people to play these characters. Should this movie be rebooted, we play casting director for the reboot.
Yep.
For the what's the word? Fake reboot. So I think there's only maybe 2 characters to really recast in this. And that would be Carl and Frank, right?
Yeah.
Or Doyle.
Or Doyle, if you can get a Doyle out of there.
Right.
I will say this was a real. This probably wouldn't get remade
Of course.
for a lot of the reasons that
Of course.
that Aaron brought up and everything.
Right.
It's towing a line back then that we don't really. Yeah, there's no need to tow it anymore.
Sure.
So, but that being said, it's a difficult one because of that.
I mean, yeah, what are you going to do with Carl? You know, especially with the things that you just said.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to recast that, really?
I mean,
Who really wants an Oscar?
Yeah.
I mean, Leo's played.
Leo's got his now.
Yeah, he's got his, and he's played.
Does Jonah Hill need an Oscar? Does he have one?
Oh man, I bet Jonah Hill would do it.
I think Jonah Hill would do it too. Has he gotten an Oscar? I know he's been nominated.
No, he doesn't have one. I don't think he won.
Is
for
he
it.
Oscar hungry though?
No,
He's a Daniel Johnson
I
fan.
bet he
That
is.
doesn't
I
really-
bet he's hungry because he lost a lot of weight. And he used to be real big.
Okay, Chase. Real
I
nice.
could say that I'm fat.
Okay, you're out of here, dude.
No,
asshole.
yeah, it's cocaine. Anyway,
Wow. Wow. Real
yeah, I mean,
nice.
I don't know. Maybe let's see here. Christian Bale is too old to play that. Maybe not.
He's got an Oscar though.
But he's got an he's got to be somebody that's real hungry for one. Maybe
Zach Efron
no,
needs an Oscar.
Wait, I was going to
So,
say
is
Rock Johnson. I'm just like
Wait,
The
who?
Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock
Crazy.
needs a
Wow, I would love to see The Rock play Sling Blade.
dude.
I mean,
That goes full circle for us too.
Wow,
with
yeah.
How many times we used that gag? Fucking when we first started
Tyler
this shit.
Perry.
Yeah.
Let's get
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry as Doyle.
As Doyle.
Tyler Perry plays the mother, or
Tyler Perry's Medea presents.
Medea. Yeah.
represents Sling Blade.
Medea Blade.
The kid,
Sling
the kid,
Medea.
The kid is played by Haley Joel Osment
Now, obviously.
but he's playing
Obviously.
a child.
But he's still
Nobody-
playing the child.
Everybody reacts to
course.
him like a child.
Right, right.
Although
I think
Haley
we-
Joel Osment might not be a bad
Sling Blade.
we keep calling him Sling Blade.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I started it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. No, he
No.
might be a good Doyle, though.
Man, no.
I would be interested to
wanna
see how he
I don't
played
wanna
that
hate
character.
Haley
though.
Joel Osment.
Yeah, but he. Oh man, you know who might be an interesting Doyle? Ooh,
Alan Tudyk.
yeah,
looks like
but that's
that.
too obvious. He could do that, but
What'd you say,
I
Aaron?
want to see.
Felix the Cat.
Felix the Cat. There you go.
Wow.
There's some animation in there too.
Yeah,
Or-
might as well.
You know, a little comeback story. Pepe Le Pew. He's got to reinvent his character.
I think he's out, dude.
Can I
I
invent
think
that
he's
character?
full canceled.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
You know
if there's
what?
No
you know who
coming back for him.
really would play
Uh-huh.
Doyle is Foghorn Leghorn
Mm-hmm.
or
Ooh, he might be a good Sling
Yosemite
Blade.
Sam.
You know,
Yeah,
I say,
Foghorn Leghorn, yeah.
I
Foghorn
like me some
Leghorn.
French fried potatoes.
This is what is it? Sling Jam.
Sling Jam.
Sling Jam.
Sling Jam. Space Blade.
Space
That's what I
Blade.
call it. Okay, yeah, and then
Yosemite Sam plays Doyle.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Tweety
Then
plays
there's Michael
Frank.
Jordan.
LeBron James plays fucking Carl, because he's the main character in Space Jam now, so he's the main character in this one. And then it's all settled, baby. I think we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good little recast. The only thing I did want to point out is I was so impressed with the kid in this movie that I looked it up who it was, and it turns out it's Lucas Black, who is still an actor, but this is his most known for. His next is Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Good for
He was,
him.
yeah, he was the guy that replaced like Paul Walker and all them when they went to the Japan stuff. But you also would recognize him from playing football with Billy Bob Thornton in Friday Night Lights. So it came full circle on that one.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yep.
I hate
All right.
this movie.
I when Bryce told me that we were having somebody on, I was like, maybe we shouldn't do Sling Blade for just the first movie that we do.
Cole. I did this to Cole too, because
Cole was worse because it was Eraserhead,
fucking Eraserhead,
which is a real fucked up movie. Yeah.
Have you seen that movie, Aaron?
Yeah.
I bet you would have a good time with that one. Cole had not seen it, did not know what it was going to be about.
Yeah.
And then
neither did I. I mean, I knew it was going to be weird, but yeah, and it was like, hey, let's have a fun time discussing a movie, Eraserhead, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, maybe
we have to talk about.
Maybe we change Sling Blade. Well, let's do like Judge Dredd, but then let's be honest, Judge Dredd is probably more problematic than this movie is.
Shoot.
Oh,
Still
God.
never seen it. Have you seen that movie, Aaron?
I saw the remake.
The one with Carl
they remade
Urban?
it?
That one was awesome.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
Really?
badass. Yeah, it's Carl Urban and Lena, what's her name? She played Cersei's in Game of Thrones. Anyway.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I think that's about all we have. If you want to, you want to go give them some plugs to follow, Aaron, before we go?
Yeah, Michaels, Aaron, Aron on Instagram. Go do that. I just restarted it. I don't do much at this time, but I will soon.
Tight. That's what's up. And then go follow us on at the Movie Gap at every across all socials, and
check
then
us out on Cross the Streams
Media. I said it first.
.com. All of our links and socials are on there,
along with the Patreon.
Yeah, the Patreon, which is coming out, if not already out.
That's right. First tier $50, very affordable. Second tier $100.
For $50, you
Third tier $500.
A sticker.
Yep.
Back. You get the back.
Yep. And if you follow us on the third tier, $500, you get to listen to the episode 1 minute before anybody else does. Cannot pass that up.
And for $3,000, I will officiate your wedding as Carl.
He'll just do that regardless. So yeah. So just hit him up for that if you just want that done. In all reality, in all seriousness. Okay, well, thank you for joining. We only have one more thing to say, and that is Nom in Space.